Greetings and welcome to another round of Master Phil in your corner. Bullying, how to protect and prepare our children. We have two special guests today. We have Dr. Izzy Kalman of the
No,
Bullying.
no, it's Mr. Izzy Kalman.
Okay,
Mr.
sorry.
Yeah.
Mr. Izzy Kalman of the Bullying Institute. There are plenty of people have called me Dr. Phil, and I had to correct them. I'm just Master Phil.
Okay.
And then we have the lovely and talented James Jefferson, a brother of mine for many, many years. He's the producer of Warrior Island and the owner of Pay-Per-View Flicks. But before we get into our important subject, let's thank some of our sponsors. First, we have to thank philross.com. We have one-on-one virtual training, certifications for kettlebells, bodyweight, and defensive tactics. We also have burnalong.com. I'm a featured instructor there. Join me and over 2,000 other instructors. And then we have the P3 training group. Plan, prepare, protect. Are you and your family or company prepared? Health is a Wealth, an interactive health, fitness, and wellness platform. Join for free. Come check it out. Speaking engagements and coaching through Professional Speakers Bureau and the Z Winning Mindset. Come check us out. We do groups, one-on-one. We do for everyone from athletes to executives. And of course, Pay-Per-View Flicks, the owners of Warrior Island, have launched a fitness and wellness video training platform. My video and training will be available on that platform as well. We're going to delve into the educational aspects. So without further ado,
don't forget bullies to buddies.
I know. We got a whole thing going on here. So, Izzy.
Thank you, James.
Can you give the audience a little bit about your background and what spurred you on to to getting into this anti-bullying? You know, I read your background, but maybe they haven't. Mm-hmm. So,
I'm a psychologist who's been working in schools since 1978. And it very quickly became obvious to me that the number one problem that kids complain about is being picked on by other kids. Today it's called bullying. I didn't know this is, what they're reporting to me as bullying, but today it's being called bullying. So I understood why it happens to kids. It's, very simple dynamics. If you get upset when you're picked on, they keep on picking on you. If you don't get upset, they stop picking on you. It's the sticks and stones slogan. But anyway, I was teaching kids very successfully how to stop being bullied. I taught schools how to handle it effectively. By the way, I was also teaching parents how to deal with sibling rivalry because we're so concerned about aggression between kids in school. It happens much more at home, much more at home. I'll talk to a class of students. I'll ask them, who here gets picked on regularly by another kid in school? And some hands go up. Who here gets picked on by brothers and sisters at home? Everybody's hands go up. So I was teaching, parents why it happens and how to get them to fight less. And then in 1999, something happened that changed the world of education. And Phil, do you know what that event was?
Kalman.
Exactly. Kalman was the event that made the whole world go on a campaign to get rid of bullying. Because Kalman was committed by two students who presented themselves as victims of bullying. Now, the other kids are treating us like garbage. That's where we're going to do this. And even before this, it became apparent that the great majority of school shootings are committed by victims of bullying. It had also been known for even longer that many kids who commit suicide do it because they're victims of bullying. But Kalman was the worst school shooting till that time, and the world said, we've had enough. We have to get rid of bullying because victims of bullying are shooting up their schools and committing suicide. Now, there was this previously obscure school of psychology that I had never been introduced to. I never knew about it. It's the field of bullying psychology. And they stepped to the plate. We have the solution to bullying. But when I saw what they're proposing to do about bullying, I knew it couldn't possibly work. It's going to make everything worse. They're taking all of the mistakes the things that make bullying worse, that cause aggression between kids to escalate, and they are promoting these things as the right thing to do. When you do these things at home with your own kids, you get intensive, ongoing sibling rivalry, and we're supposed to do this in schools and expect bullying to go down. So at that point, after the Kalman shooting, I realized I have a mission here. I have to get the world on the right track. And I thought it wouldn't be, in a couple of years, I would have the world's opinion changed, but I didn't know what I was up against, because the anti-bullying establishment, it's a billion-dollar business. Yep. And with professors all promoting the stuff that doesn't work. So I didn't know I was up on such a uphill battle. But anyway, it's 23 years later now. Bullying is still being called an epidemic. Everything that I predicted that would go wrong with bullying has happened. But it's not too late. It's it's time.
It's never too late, right? Because
it's time to make things better.
Right, because we always have more kids going into school. We have to fix things, and we have to address them. And one of the major things that we have to do is to identify a bully. So what are some of the ways that you go and identify bullies?
Why do you think we have to identify bullies? Well,
one of the reasons is because when you have an issue, you have to identify what the issue is. I'm not talking about calling out a bully and saying, "Oh, you're bad. You're here. Put a bully shirt on." No, I'm talking about to see who is the person who is actually doing the bullying or who is predisposed to bullying.
Okay, your question is part of the reason why the world has essentially gotten nowhere in tackling the bullying problem. The logical thing is we have to find out who the bullies are, because the bullies are making people miserable. So we have to get rid of the bullies. And everybody thinks this. So everybody thinks the right thing to do is to find out who the bullies are and to make the bullies change. Does anybody think they're a bully? Let me, before we get to that, who commits school shootings?
People who are bullied.
Yeah, victims of bullying commit school shooting. Who commits suicide? Is it bullies or victims of bullying?
I think both.
It's the victim generally.
Okay. James, what you're saying is right to the extent that many of the kids who commit suicide are identified as bullies. But they don't feel like bullies. Nobody feels like a bully commits suicide. They don't think, "Oh, you know what? I feel so guilty now. I've been picking on kids and making them miserable, and I feel so guilty, so I'm going to end my life." Nobody does that. It's just that most of the kids that we think of as bullies really are victims. They're acting from a victim mentality.
Yes, this is what I wanted to also bring up, because many times the person who is doing the bullying is a subject of bullying themselves. So they are, not only are they acting out and being the bully, but they are also a victim of this act.
Right. The real, somebody who's so-called a bully, why are they doing it? They enjoy picking on people. It makes them feel superior. They're laughing at other kids, but they're not looking to kill. And they're not looking to kill themselves either. The people who are looking to kill are victims, because the victim is angry. They're full of hatred towards their perceived bullies. They want revenge. So revenge is like the most dangerous emotion.
Again.
Yes, go ahead, James.
So I a few years ago, I think I told you the scenario, and this one scenario gave me a new insight, even after 40 plus years in martial arts and dealing with aggression. This scenario that happened to me gave me a whole new insight into the bully mentality, or what we call a bully mentality. A very nice elderly couple had come to my studio, my dojo, and asked me if I could work with their adult special needs son, who was 6'3" and about 270 pounds, nonverbal. He had been beating them up on a regular basis, and they were elderly, and he was hurting them. He had no way of communicating with them. He was completely nonverbal. They had nowhere to go. They didn't know what to do. They knew that I was a martial artist. I was a boxing coach. I was a big guy. Maybe I could help. Well, over a period of a year, I took Sean and he tried to hit me a few times. I would just either catch the punch, evade. I'd hug him. I'd say it's okay. from what I found was that over the year, eventually I got him to talk a little bit after he had never spoken in his life. But what I realized is that at a very simple level, that here's somebody who had no communication skills, no ability to talk. The only thing that he could do was hit, because there was no other way for him to communicate. So by definition, in today's society, he would be a bully. That's ridiculous. Here's a special needs person that's nonverbal that can't communicate anything, and they get to the point of frustration in their brain that they're just so frustrated that he's hitting. He's trying to get his attention or a point or something. So it made sense to me that on some level, anyone who's aggressive to anybody is having a communication issue. Either they're not being heard, or they're saying the wrong thing, or someone's saying the wrong thing to them. We've all had these conversations in our careers that, you know, most fights and wars never would have happened if there was better communication and empathy and caring. And as you also in your program is, you use a lot of humor and intellect. So, I mean, that was a big moment, aha moment for me, was to realize that this is really the root of a lot of it. That if somebody is being aggressive verbally on social media, physically with their hands, feet, or throwing something, or God forbid, using a weapon, we could probably rewind their life to some point, and they're having some kind of a problem of either being heard or communicating. There's a brokenness. Maybe it's some kind of communicational path has been dammed, like a river, and they can't get that flow of information or communication out. And the change in Sean, from when he couldn't talk at all to he could count to 10. We would hit the speed bag, and then he'd be one, and eventually two, two. And in over a year, he was able to go to 10. He stopped hitting his parents because he can say happy, oh, happy, or I'm sad. So, like, if there's a song on he doesn't like, he was sad. So he wasn't hitting. So these are all it was all about communication with him. And I know that's only one case, but it seemed to be extremely telling to me that here's a big, tough, autistic child just beating his parents up because he couldn't talk or communicate. When he started to be able to communicate a little bit and also relieve some energy through exercise, his violence subsided to a certain point. And I think that I would never have considered him a bully. He was somebody that was sick and confused.
Yeah, you're right, James. All aggression is being called bullying. So even when somebody who's a victim does it, we call it bullying. So we think a bully is doing it. No, a victim is doing it. I'd like to explain a little bit more why going after bullies and seeing the bullies as the problem doesn't work. It seems like it's the right thing to do, but one of the reasons is nobody thinks they're a bully. Donald Trump was called the bully in chief of our country. The term was coined by the Wall Street Journal, and it caught on. Everybody spoke of Trump as a bully.
Yeah.
Joe Biden called Trump a bully. Trump said, I don't think I'm a bully. And he went to explain on why. And he does it. Nobody thinks they're a bully. Trump explained that what he's doing is protecting our country from the real bullies of the world. He's standing up to them. Mm-hmm. So nobody thinks they're a bully. So if we tell people, don't be a bully, it's bad to be a bully, people don't think, oh, I should stop being a bully. I didn't realize it was bad. What they think is, oh, yeah, that's right. They have to stop bullying me. So telling people to stop being a bully, you're talking to deaf ears. But everybody who's suffering feels like a victim. We all know what it's like to be a victim. Almost every human being has relationships in their lives in which they don't like the way they're being treated. So people don't want to be victims. Victims are the ones doing the most horrible things. So people want to know how not to be a victim. So the best way to reduce bullying is by teaching people how not to be a victim. Because if you know how not to be a victim, people can't bully you anymore.
You know what? You hit a great point. And this is, I rolled this program out, and it was doing pretty well prior to COVID, and then kind of fell to the wayside, and I shifted my life around. But I've been doing it for about 10 years prior, and I called it BET. It's Build Esteem Today. So I looked at it a lot like you're looking at it, where you're taking the potential victims or bullies. We don't even know who they are, but you're building everyone's self-esteem. And, you know, there's different tactics for doing that. And we're empowering these people to be able to protect themselves, to avoid being a victim. Because you said, it's a dotted line, I believe, between who is the victim and who is the bully, because sometimes it's crossed.
Both the same person.
Yep. I'm not going to disagree with you. I'm not going to disagree.
I was talking about how in the TV show Cobra Kai, you know, our whole lives we're all like Daniel-san fans. He was being bullied. He learns karate. He beats up the the bully, and everything's great in the world because Daniel-san won the All Valley. Well, when it turns out you watch Cobra Kai, that Johnny was being bullied at home by his stepfather. He was a victim. The stepfather is an idiot. He was probably bullied by his father or by somebody. So it's right there. It's black and white that there is no bullies. There's only victims. Mental health is the biggest problem in this world, and we need to have a way for all of us to help everybody.
Well, just for the record, I like Johnny way better in Cobra Kai than I like Daniel-san.
Oh, way better.
I'm just putting it out there. Johnny
he can fight with a 7-Eleven pizza in his hand.
It's just incredible.
But you know, this is what we're trying to do. You know, one of the things that I really love, Izzy, is that since we've been having our communication, the fact that you dig in and try to understand everything I'm trying to do with the Tiki Code, everything that Warrior Island's doing, I thought it was extremely important because Phil is part of the fabric of how I built my life. He's one of the people that have been influential in my life, like, you know, Alan Goldberg and you know, the Black Dragon, Ron Van Cleef. These are lifelong martial artists, but they're also great human beings. They understand the value of all human beings. And I think that the more that you dig in and find out who I am and what I represent and what I'm trying to do, it is about humanity. And it is about making this place a better world, making the world a better place. I mean, you're sitting here with two people like, you know, Master Phil and myself. If there's a situation, worst case, an active shooter situation, or if there's a brawl or there's a riot, we're like firefighters. We're running towards it. Where most people are going to run away, we're running towards to protect people. And that's the thing. You go to one of our events, like in Atlantic City, where you have 2,000 martial artists from around the world. Do you think anyone's going to start something there? They're just not going to, although everyone there has weaknesses and pains and has been bullied and has frustrations in their life. They could be the grandest master of all time. They've had problems in their life or emotional issues, because we're all kind of the same. It's just who's going to step up for each other. And that's kind of what the three of us are doing right now. We're stepping up for everybody.
Yeah, this is one thing that, you know, when James brought this to me, you know, I said, you know, definitely have to become involved in this and use my skills and know-how and pool our resources so that we can help make the world better. And, you know, it's something that has to be addressed. And like you said, Izzy, you know what, you've been doing it 23 years and it's not there yet, but that doesn't matter, because you know what, the usefulness of this will never go away and the improvement will continue. So can you give us some of the little insight as to, you know, what you implemented or what you have implemented with your program, what we need to focus on moving forward?
First of all, I do this mostly, and this is certainly what I was doing initially. I work with individual victims of bullying. So, and I do this with adults also. It's not only children who are being bullied. There are people who feel bullied by their spouses, by their children, by their boss. So if somebody comes to me for help, they're being treated badly repeatedly. It's important to realize that when we talk about bullying, what we're really talking about is when you're being repeatedly picked on by the same people. And in every classroom, there are 1 or 2 or 3 kids like that. And it's miserable. Every day they pick on you. So they don't know why it's happening to them. Why are kids being so mean to them? Why is their spouse being so mean to them? So I developed a game that I play with them to teach them why the person is being so mean to them and how to get them to stop being mean. And most meanness is verbal. And even most physical fights begin with words. People insult each other. They get angry before you know they're hitting each other. So the most basic thing is to know how to deal with verbal attacks, which is really very easy. A physical attack, if you're twice my size and you know martial arts, I stand no chance against you. But with words, if I know the technique, I can take on anybody. And you just have to know the rules. So if you want, I'll do a simple exercise with you that forms the basis of what I teach.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. I'm going to play a game with you, Phil. Your job is to insult me. My job is to stop you. But don't let me stop you or I win and you lose.
Okay.
Do not worry about hurting my feelings. It's make-believe. I want you to do a good job. Also, don't talk without stopping. Give me a chance to answer you. Make it like a conversation. Go ahead, Phil.
Hey, let me ask you something, Izzy.
What?
Why are you so short? Why?
I'm not so short. I'm average height for an American male.
Average where?
In America, in fact, I'm even an inch above the average.
What are you standing on a box? There's no way.
I happen to be sitting down now, and I'm 5'10". That's like an inch higher than the average.
I couldn't tell if you were sitting or standing. Are you standing in a hole? What are you doing?
I'm not standing. I'm not short. Stop calling me short.
I can't help it. If I could see you weren't short, I'd say you weren't, but you are.
I am not short. It's not true. Stop calling me short.
Why? You've done nothing to make me think that you're not short, because I can see over your head. Matter of fact,
only because I'm sitting down. I'm fairly tall. Okay, what? I give up. You're doing a nice job, Phil. Am I making you stop calling me short?
Yeah, so we went on to something else.
No. Did I in this game? Did I make you stop calling me short?
At some point, I think.
No, you went on and on. I gave up, but you went on and on. Was it hard? Was it hard to call me short?
Oh yeah, it was hard.
It didn't look so hard.
Yeah, well, no, I had
so hard to say you're short. It didn't look so hard.
Yeah.
But anyway, so if you want to insult me, if you're determined to insult me, can I force you to stop?
No.
Okay, good. We're going to play the game again. Insult me and don't let me stop you.
Okay. Why are you so short?
Why are you so tall?
Because I don't want to be short like you.
Yeah, I'd like to be taller too.
Well, I guess you just wound up on the short end of the stick, huh?
Yeah, you got the tall genes. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will tell you, that was awesome.
It's so simple. The
I actually think I saw you grow taller when he said that.
Yeah. No, that was great.
Okay. Now, when I work with somebody, I have a whole series of questions and explanations so they really understand in depth what was going on. Mm-hmm. But let me ask you, did you see me trying to stop you the first time you played the game?
Yes, you tried to address exactly what I was saying.
Yeah, but I was telling you to stop. Stop calling me short.
Right. You were telling me to stop. Yeah.
But that's not what I was doing. You know what I was really doing the first time?
You were reaffirming that you were short.
You were bullying him back.
No, I was saying that I'm not short, but it looked like I was trying to get you to stop calling me short.
Right. Yes.
I was making you continue calling me short. I made you win. You were the winner here. I made you have fun. You were smiling. You had a great time. Why should you stop? And I looked like a big fool. It's so much fun. The second time, it looked like I was allowing you to insult me, right? Did I even once ask you to stop?
No.
It was clear you can say anything you want to me, but look how quickly you stopped.
I know. I had nothing to say, which is very rare.
Yeah, you run out of things to say because I say, yeah, you're tall. That's so great.
True.
You can't keep on saying it. But let me tell you the real difference between the two times. Okay. The first time, I was treating you like an enemy. Like you're against me. I'm angry at you. I'm making fists. You better stop doing it. I was treating like you're against me. The second time I treated you like you're my friend. I was friendly. I said, oh, you're tall. That's great. I wish I could be taller. That is the whole difference. If I treat you like an enemy, you're going to treat me back like an enemy.
Yes.
If I treat you like a friend, you'll treat me like a friend. So this is really at the core of what I teach. You treat the
Love
other
that.
person like a friend.
Yeah. Well,
The thing is, nobody teaches us what it means to treat somebody like a friend or an enemy. I never learned this in all of the psychology courses I took, in all of the psychology books that I read. I never had it explained. What does it mean to treat somebody like a friend or an enemy?
Ah, the Tiki
that's
code.
fantastic. That's huge. No, that's absolutely
Yeah.
huge. I've never,
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I've never had, you know, when people talk about verbal jujitsu and so forth, this is another level what we're talking about, what you're doing. Okay. Verbal
Yeah.
jujitsu is different. You turn it on them, but you know what you're doing? You're completely negating this. You're bringing this temperature down incredibly. Like there's a tactic I used to use when I was bouncing, when I had someone who was a real jerk in the bar and I had to throw him out. So, you know, that could get pretty hairy. I know James is a bouncer too. You can get pretty hairy when you throw someone out. And my first line to them, I said, "You're a good guy, aren't you?" That would drop down their temperature. That would drop. He might be the biggest jerk on the planet, but he still thinks he's a good guy. And I would disarm them. And you know, you just did that, but you did that to another level.
Yeah. What you did was intuitive and it was correct and it worked very well. But I have a system. I have it explained like nobody in the world has explained it.
No one has.
I have developed the most detailed approach to understanding bullying and how to deal with it that exists.
It's incredible. It's incredible. Now the next thing is, and this is where I think that where my piece is going to come in, is what if everything that you have done, which is incredible, I think it take care of most of the situations, but there's going to be those, you know, those off chances, that little percentage of people that none of this works.
Yeah.
And what do we do?
Okay. Now, what is the situation? Is it a situation where somebody is attacking us physically or insulting us? Physical.
Yeah, no, we've gotten past the verbal. We're getting to the physical.
Okay. It's important when it comes to dealing with aggression and how to deal with it. It's important to realize that there are two basic kinds of aggression. They're fundamentally different, and you have to treat them differently. Okay. One kind of aggression causes objective harm. Another causes subjective harm. Okay. Objective harm means that if you do the act to me and I get hurt, you are the one who's hurting me. If you smash me in the face with your fist, you have hurt me. That's objective. It has nothing to do with whether I like you or not. If you hit me in the face with your fist, it is going to hurt me. If you steal from me, you are hurting me. It's objective. If you rape me, you're hurting me. If you kill me, you have hurt me. That's objective. And all of the things that are considered crimes are things that cause objective harm. You know, assault and battery, murder, rape, theft, vandalism. There are acts that cause subjective harm. It means that if you do it to me and I get hurt, I am the one who hurt me. You didn't hurt me. And the best example is an insult. Yeah. If you insult me, to what extent or to what percentage does it depend on me if I'm going to get hurt? If you insult me.
It depends on how you respond to it, how you take it.
It's completely up to me. And that's what I demonstrated in the game. The first time I got upset, the second time I didn't get upset. It is completely up to me if I get hurt by your insults. So you can't make a crime out of things that cause subjective harm because I hurt myself. You're going to get punished when I hurt myself. Yeah. But people don't realize this. And bullying has come to include all aggression, physical aggression and verbal aggression, objective harm, subjective harm. You can't treat them the same. If you do objective harm to me repeatedly, I can't stop you. That's criminal behavior. You deserve to get punished for that. I should get if I can't stop you, the authorities should get involved and you should get punished. But if you insult me, let's say you insult me and I get the police on you. Are you going to admit that you're guilty?
No.
What are you talking about? I didn't say it. He's making or he started with me. I just called him an idiot because of the way he was talking to me. Are you going to like me if I get the police involved against you?
Nope.
You're going to hate me. You know, snitches get stitches. The
Yep.
same thing if we're kids in school. If I tell the teacher that you insulted me and you get sent to the principal's office, you're going to hate me. So taking things that cause subjective harm and treating them like things that deserve to be punished makes everything worse.
Yes.
But this is what we're doing. Yeah, that's why bullying is becoming an epidemic. The schools have to take the side of the one who says they're the victim. They have to investigate and judge and punish kids. And everybody tries to prove that I'm right and they're wrong. And whatever way the school decides, the two sides are still angry at each other. And the loser in the judgment hates the school too.
Izzy, I think it may have actually evolved to worse than that now. They actually have zero tolerance in a lot of the schools in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. So not only is the so-called bully getting suspended or reprimanded, but they actually suspend the victims now.
Yes.
So it's actually gotten to the point where the schools have washed their hands of everything, and if there's conflict at all, they get rid of both.
Yep. Everybody gets punished. That's what they do.
Okay, they've been doing. Many schools have done that for a long time. It doesn't. Sometimes it works, but the zero tolerance for bullying is not what you're talking about. Some schools do that. Zero tolerance for bullying means the bullying will not be tolerated. We have to find out who the victim is, and the bully is the only one who has to be dealt with. The victim is considered to have nothing to do with the situation. The victim does not have to change because it's not their fault. Only the bully has to change.
I really enjoyed when you were doing the exercise with Master Phil in the second skit. What I really loved was I saw his posture, his skin color, and his demeanor change when you were complimenting him or letting him know that he was, he was lucky. He had the good genes and he got the tall genes. He literally, physically, and emotionally changed, and it's so obvious.
You disarmed
and
me.
he had no idea what you were going to do, and your technique worked extremely well.
I'll tell you what.
And he's not that tall.
It's hard to tell. I can't tell. Anyway, a lot of short people go into martial arts because they're short and they want to be able to defend themselves from the big brutes.
Yeah.
But anyway, you would ask me, what do you do for an ongoing situation? If it's physical, you have to get the authorities involved. It's criminal behavior. But let's say you're insulting me and I don't get upset and I compliment you back and you keep on insulting me. You just keep on doing it. Who's going to look like a jerk, you or me?
Oh, it's going to be me. But you know what?
Yes.
On that note, we're going to wrap things up because we're running out of time here. But this has just been awesome. We're going to do a side 2 on this. We're going to do episode 2 on this one. This was fantastic. Izzy, James, thank you for being here on the Master Phil in Your Corner podcast. And we look forward to the next one. Strength and honor.